countdown is on. Just 19 days. Can you believe it? 19 days before many of us will head to the polls to cast our ballot for the next president. Today, former President Donald Trump is going to be in New York City. He's going to attend a dinner. As for Vice President Kamala Harris, she's in Wisconsin. The major question is, who's leading? The latest polls? We don't know. Joining us now to discuss all things surrounding that is Dr. Susan Johnson-Cook, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Ma'am, always good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Always good to be seen with you. Thank you.
All right, so yesterday, the vice president had a sit down with my parent company, Fox, to which they discussed a number of things. I guess it's fair to say, for the most part, both she and the host clashed somewhat. Do you think she was able to get her point across, and the goal was to take away some GOP voters?
Well, it's always difficult when there's clashing. I think, people who are with her certainly always are going to support her. I think for messages to those who have not been her supporters, it may have been a little difficult when they got caught up because you get distracted by the clash. But what also happened yesterday and the day before was that, Georgia voters have come out in great numbers. And it is typical that those who vote early, they crashed on records. Those who vote early typically go Democratic. And today, North Carolina. So I think those who are with her were strengthened. Those who were not are still going to be on the fence.
Yeah, you just made mention of what happened in Georgia. I believe, some 330,000 people went out and cast that ballot, if you will, on day one. As you stated, that set the record. You also stated that typically tends to lean toward the Democrats. We also know that former President Donald Trump wasn't necessarily a proponent of early voting. It appears as though he might be eating his words now.
Very much so, but it is, as I listen to all the commentators, they say that Republicans tend to vote on the day of Election Day. And so, Donald Trump's eating a lot of words, and I think those are some that he'll probably be eating for a little while.
All right, let's stay in the realm of former President Donald Trump. We know that he had a town hall where the president really spoke with Latino voters. He also yet again doubled down about the claims of Haitian migrants in Ohio eating their pets. What say you?
Donald Trump has to just do some fact checking, and before he speaks, he has to really make sure that what he's saying is correct. He said yesterday, he started stumbling through it, that, but he had heard that from reports, and so that's why he was repeating it. When you're leading the country, or you hoping to lead the country, you have to be factual. You have to know things, and you don't want to be insulting. You don't want your whole campaign to be about insulting groups of people ethnically, racially, or otherwise. You want to make sure that you're always trying to be pro. What can I bring to the table that will improve your lives? Not what will I add to just make people upset with me. And so I think he's just got to reconsider how he speaks and how he uses his words.
Speaking of bringing something to the table, it looks like the Democrats are bringing out the big guns. In this case, we know that former First Lady Michelle Obama will soon campaign for Vice President Kamala Harris. That's going to happen actually in your home state of Georgia, in Atlanta to be exact. And not only that, but we now know that rapper Common will also campaign for the vice president. What do you think about that?
I think it's wonderful. My home state is New York. So, today Trump is coming to New York City, which is my hometown. But I think, you have to bring out your big guns. Part of strategy is pacing, and when do you pull out the big guns? I've been a surrogate, so I was a little gun, or maybe not even a bullet. But, you have to determine when do you bring out the voices that will really make the difference. And now that this early voting has started, this is the time. You have 19 days, as you said at the opening of this, and you have to use everything you've got. You don't have a second chance. November 6th is too late. So you have to start now in October, and this is the right time to do it. And I think she will be persuasive. She has been asked to actually run herself. So I think now with her standing with the vice president, Michelle Obama standing with her, there's second to none that she, hands down, she will make a difference, and certainly Common as well.
Yeah, once again, I stand corrected with regard to your home state. I am in so much trouble with my mom as well, whose home state happens to be New York. So believe you me, I'm going to get it.
Yes.
With the national polls not really having a clear leader, what does that say? That yet again, we are just 19 days away, and, well, quite honestly, we don't know who's going to take it all.
What it says is that every vote matters. every vote. People who think that I could stay home, well, that's a vote. That's a vote against whoever is going to win. So you have to understand that with 19 days and it being so close, it is razor thin close, not even neck and neck, as they say. Then you have to make sure that you go to the polls, that you are registered by this point, but that you now take your body physically to the polls. If you can't get there, get some assistance, and there's all kinds of assistance. And from the biblical days, they said when the person couldn't get out the house, they lifted the roof and took the person out. Whatever it takes to get there, get to the polls.
All right, we'll switch gears to the current president. In this case, I'm referring to Joe Biden. It is literally an end of an era. The president is headed to Germany for a farewell trip. Now, it was supposed to be filled with plenty of pomp and circumstance. However, because of the hurricane that ran through several states, well, they decided to go about and remix it, if you will. It's been played down, and now it's just a visit. A fitting way for the president to say goodbye?
Not a fitting way. When he dropped out of the race, I've sent an e-blast to about 10,000 people in my network, just kind of complimenting him. You don't want to have so much attention on the person who's coming into office that you forget the person who's done a yeoman's job for years as president, as senator of the United States, who has gone through all kinds of personal turmoil, but still persisted and led this country. And so I think there needs to be something else, certainly with the hurricane having come through, but I think we have to pay tribute and give honor to those whom it's due. And it's due Joe Biden. I am with him. He'd been a great president. His season is up for this presidency, but it's not up until January 20th when we inaugurate and nominate someone else. So please, let's not forget the work that's been done by people. Government work is hard work. Servant spirit is hard work, but he did it from his heart. And I think we need to have something that's fitting for a job well done.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a zinger out here before we wrap up, Dr. Susan Johnson Cook, and that is obviously a major race happening right here in the state of Maryland. I'm talking about Angela Alsobrooks taking on Larry Hogan, where U.S. Senate seat up for grabs. This could really shift the power with regard to what's happening on Capitol Hill.
Very much so. Angela is one of my church mates, my home church, First Baptist Church of Glen Arden, when I'm there in the Washington area. She slam dunked him on the debate, hands down. She's popular and the state is leaning towards her. The governor has come out, Wes Moore has come out for her. I think hands down, she's got a really, really good shot. Even though Larry Hogan was a great governor, he wasn't up against Angela Alsobrooks for senator. And so I think she's got a great shot. It's going to shift the power. And I think people are waiting to see. There certainly is a momentum, a wave, a tsunami wave that's behind her and underneath her and the wind beneath her wings. So we'll look to see what happens. But certainly I salute her and her courage for running. She's been a great executive, and I know that she'll be a great senator.
Words spoken by one of New York's finest, Dr. Susan Johnson Cook, joining us right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Always good to see you, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.